All right, so let's do number one because it should encompass all the rest of them because some of them ask for the mean and some of them ask for the variance and some of them ask for the standard deviation and some ask for the expected value. And this will encompass every single one of those possibilities. So I have taken this table and put it into Word. We're going to begin by calculating the mean, the mu here. All right, but first, let's go to that Word document, and I've changed the table so that my x's are a column and my p of x's are a column also. And we'll see why that's just easier to contend with. So here it is. All right, now to find the mean, what I have to do first is I need to do a new column called xp of x, and that's just where I'm multiplying this column times this column. So I'm going to multiply straight across. 1 times 0.11 is 0.11. 2 times 0.07 is 0.14. 7 times 0.09 is 0.63. 11 times 0.11, I believe, is 1.21. I'll check in my calculator real quick just to make sure I'm not misplacing my decimal. No, that's right. 16 times 0.08, I do need my calculator for. Can't do that one in my head. That is 1.28. And then 17 times 0.54 is 9.18. All right, now the formula for our mean of a discrete probability distribution, I will write it here. Our mean is the sum, that's what our symbol here means, the sum of x px. Now we just got all of the x times px's, and what we need to do is find their sum. We need to add them up and we will have the mean. So I'm just going to add this new column. I'll put all of that in my calculator. 0.11 plus 0.14 plus 0.63 plus 1.21 plus 1.28 plus 9.18, and that gives me 12.55. And let me get out of the draw feature so I can actually put that in there. 12.55. All right. So we have the answer to the mean is 12.55. Oops, again, got to get the draw feature on. 12.55. All right, now let's go on to the variance. For the variance, we need some new columns. And I'm going to get out of the draw here, and I'm going to make two new columns. The first one I'm going to make is the x squared column. And then the second column I'm going to make over here is x squared times p of x column. So let's see if I can do that real quick. X squared, get out of that square, times p of x. All right, so in the x squared column, I'm going to go back here to my x column, and I'm going to square every single thing that I have. So 1 times 1 is 1. That'll go here. 2 times 2 is 4. 7 times 7 is 49. 11 times 11 is 121. 16 times 16, I don't know offhand. I'll have to put that in the calculator. It is 256. And then 17 times 17, I'll put that in the calculator. That is 289. All right, now I'm now going to complete that last column that I wrote. I want to take this x squared column and multiply it times the p of x column, this column here. And we have to be really careful that we don't accidentally multiply it times this one where we were finding the mean. So we're going to do 1 times 0.11. It's 0.11. 4 times 0.07 is 0.28. 49 times 0.09, I don't know. Put that in the calculator. That is 4.41. Now I want 121 times 0.11. Again, I'll put that in the calculator. That's 13.31. And then I want 256 times 0.08. That in the calculator. And that is 20.48. And then I need 289 times 0.54. And that is 156.06. All right, now our formula for variance. I will write that down here. Use my draw feature again. The variance is the sum of x squared p of x minus the mean squared. All right, so the sum of x squared p of x. So right here in this last column, let me get out of the draw feature. I have all of the x squared p of x's. I need to sum them together. So I need to add this column. So I'm going to add this last column. And I get 194.65. Let me put that right here. All right, so that is actually the answer to just this part right here. All right, so our variance squared is equal to 194.65 minus the mean that we got in our first step, 12.55 squared. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do 12.55 squared in my calculator, and I'm going to keep all my decimal places for the moment. I know my little points aren't showing up very well when I write on the screen, so let's see. It's 157.5025. And now I'll let my calculator do that subtraction. 194.65 minus 157.5025. And let me get out of the draw feature just so I can move the screen up a little. So our answer is 37.1475 for our variance, depending on whatever it told us to round it to. Probably 3 decimal places, so probably 37.148. We'll look at that and we go back in a second. All right, last thing, or third thing we wanted was the standard deviation. And fortunately, the standard deviation, once we have the variance, is an easier calculation. So again, I'm just going to move the screen up a little bit. All right, so the standard deviation is the square root of the variance that we just got. So for our sake, it is the square root of this number here. So I'll just put that into the calculator. 37.1475. And my variant, or my standard deviation rather, move this up a little bit, is 6.09487. Now it probably only says to take it to 3 decimal places or so, so I'll just go out a few decimals there. Probably 6.095 is what they want, depending on what it said back here. We can check that. Let's see. It said, it did not say, so let's just check. They're going 4 decimal places from the look of it. All right, so this one they've got the whole thing, but I'm sure they're not asking for the whole thing. You can probably put in 4 decimal places and it'll be fine. All right, expected value. The expected value is always the same thing as our mean. All right, so our mean was 12 something. Let me go back to our page. I'll have to scroll back up. It was 12.55. All right, so our mean was 12.55. Our expected value will also be 12.55. So that part is really a repetition of what we had right there. And that should help you through all of those. Remember that if it's just asking for the mean, you just have to do that first step in the table. If it's asking for the variance, though, you have to do all of it because you need the mean to help find your variance. And same for the standard deviation. Hopefully that will help you through these.